Hey Rams, it's Miss Moreau. Today's topic is going to be numbers and operations. So if you have your book with you, you'll go ahead and fill this in there. If you don't have your book, that's okay. You can fill it in throughout our Edpuzzle as we go. All right. If you are at home quarantined and your parents would like to come pick up your book, I have one of these little booklets, these star review books that I made. I have one for every student. So if your parents come to the school, I can either leave it in the office, or if they call me and it's right before or right after school, I could run out and drop it off out there, so I don't have to come inside even. But it would really help if everybody had their book, or if you're returning soon, then just follow along right here and we'll get you caught up with your book soon, okay? We are getting very close to Star Day. All right. Your warm-up here. Number 1, place the following numbers in the appropriate section below. Well, when I think about my whole numbers, those are the ones, remember our number line that we'll get to in a second, but the whole numbers are a 1. 1.0 is still a 1, right? And that's it. That's the only whole number here. Oh, nope, 13. Now, my integers are also whole numbers. You notice that this whole number box is right inside that integer box. So all my whole numbers are also integers. So -5 is an integer. And then -8/4 because it simplifies to -2. Okay. And then the other 3 here are all rational numbers. -2/5. A lot of times students see that negative and they think that it must be an integer, but it's not. If it's a fraction or a decimal that doesn't simplify to a whole number, it's going to be a rational number. And then 1/10. All right. Next, Amanda is reading a 208-page novel for her English class. On Monday, she reads 3/8 of the novel. On Tuesday, she reads 28 pages. And on Wednesday, she reads 1/4 of the novel. How many more pages does she have until she finishes the novel? All right. Well, the whole book is 208 pages. So Monday, she reads 3/8 of that. So we need to know what 3/8 of 208 is. Okay, so what I'll do is say, what is 1/8 of 208? Right, what is 1/8 of that? So 8 times 2 is 16. I'm going to get a 4 and bring down the 8. 8 times 6 is 48. So 26 is 1/8. So 3/8 would be 3 times as much. So 26 times 3. 78. So she read 78 pages on Monday. And on Tuesday, she read 28. I'm going to switch colors here so they all stand out. So Tuesday is 28. So after Monday and Tuesday, she has read 106 pages. But then on Wednesday, she's going to read 1/4 of the book. Now, it doesn't say 1/4 of what's left. It's just 1/4 of the entire novel. So we'll do 208 divided by 4. It's 52. So on Wednesday there, she read 52 pages. So I'm going to take this 106. Oops, not an 8. Plus 52. Be 158 pages that she has read. So how many more does she have left? Well, I'll do 208 minus 158 will give me 50 pages left. And that's your answer. It's a lot of steps, but it all goes back to finding a fraction of a number, okay? Okay, here is your cheat sheet. Okay, for classifying rational numbers, right there. Your integer operations are over here on the right. Remember those rules. You can use your cheat sheets as we're studying. Classifying these numbers right here, these are just for good practice. So 14 is a whole number, an integer, and a rational number. -9/1, that becomes -9, so it's an integer and a rational number. 0 is actually, we call it a real number, a whole number, an integer, and a rational number. Actually, nope, it's not a real number. Sorry, I left it. Sorry, it's the one that's not a real number, sorry. Okay, -3 and 4/9 is just a rational number. 14 is a whole number, an integer, and a rational number. 2.7, rational number. Negative 6 over 3, that simplifies to negative 2, so it is an integer and a rational number. Negative 1 is an integer and a rational number. 1/2 is just a rational number. Okay, while this is good, this is classifying, this is just at the 6th grade level. The difference of 7th grade is you've got to be able to make the connections within the Venn diagrams, okay? And we'll get more into that in a second, okay? And then we also have all of our rules for multiplying and dividing fractions and decimals, so make for sure you know those. All right, classifying the rational numbers. Now, what I tell students here is that I like to look at this on a number line, okay? All right, so in 6th grade, we learned that everything 0 and over are considered whole numbers, okay? These are all whole numbers here, but we also learned that all of these numbers on your number line, all these numbers that you see on the number line here are integers. Okay, and then we learned that everything, all the numbers that we deal with in 6th and 7th grade are going to be rational numbers. We don't deal with anything that's irrational except for pi.
Anita Tatum, please report.
All right, so the rational numbers are any numbers that we can write as a fraction or decimal. So all of your whole numbers are also rational numbers, and so are your integers. And then these numbers in between the fractions and decimals. Now, 7th grade adds one more category of numbers here. They are called natural numbers. Okay, they are the natural numbers, so they start at 1 and over. They are what we call counting numbers in elementary. So it's all the whole numbers except for 0. Okay, so this number line helps a little bit because if you look at, if I just picked the number 5, I see that it is a natural number and a whole number and an integer and a rational number. But if I look over here at negative 6, it is an integer and a rational number only. Okay, if I pick like negative 2.5 right here, it would only be a rational number, because it's not one of these numbers that we see on the number line, okay? Now, our Venn diagrams are going to walk through that a little bit for us today. All right, so we're going to place an example of each number in here. So what are some examples of whole numbers? Okay, 5, 2, 7, 9, all those are whole numbers. Now, integers include those whole numbers. 5, 2, 7, and 9 are also integers because they are inside of this green square. Now, the integers that are not whole numbers are negative 6, negative 4, negative 31. Okay, and then we have the rational numbers. So what are your examples of rational numbers? 1/2, negative 2/3, 1.8. All of those are rational numbers, whether they're positive or negative, but they are the numbers that are not integers or whole numbers, okay? All right, the second one over here. Which of these is placed incorrectly? All right, so hopefully you said it was 15/2, negative 15/2. That's a very common mistake. A lot of students think that just because it's negative, it belongs in the integer spot. No, it would only go there if that's simplified to one of our integer or whole numbers, okay? That would actually belong out here in the rational number. Okay, which of these does not belong in this set right here? Tell me which one you think would not belong there. All right, did you say that your answer was negative 28? That is an integer. Okay, 7/10 is a rational number. Negative 11 is 11%, that's 11/100, so it's a rational number. It looks like a whole number, right? That's a rational number. And this is a rational number. Now, negative 28 is the one that does not belong. Okay, which of these does not belong? All right, did you say the answer was 2? Because 2 is the only one here that is a whole number. Okay, all the rest of these are integers but not whole numbers. All right, so we're going to read a problem here. Mr. Yates pays blank a certain amount for cable and internet each month. How much does he pay for cable and internet over the period of a year? So what do we know about this problem? Well, when I'm solving it, I know that there are 12 months in a year, right? We know there are 12 months. So there we go, 12 months. So if he pays a certain amount each month, let's say we're going to call it $5. He pays for $5 for cable and internet each month. So over the years, that means $5 for January, $5 for February, $5 for March. I could add that up over and over, but if it's repeated addition, I would multiply. So 5 times 12. So I would multiply the amount per each month times the number of months, okay? That's my plan. So now I'm going to give you the real number. It's $136.78. Now, does that make it any harder? Not necessarily. I mean, the number is a little bit more complicated, but you still do the same thing. If you can make it easier and read it with a whole number, it's a little bit, it builds your confidence a little bit more in how to do that, okay? So $136.78 times 12 will be your problem. So go ahead and solve that now. All right, so if I were to estimate this, let's say about $100 times 12 months, it's over $1,200, right? So that's going to be, help me with my reasonableness. So my answer is $1,641.36. Okay? All right, so next one. A pillowcase requires a certain amount yards of material. If Mrs. Huerta plans to sew 6 pillowcases, then how many yards of fabric does she need? So let's put a nice, easy number in there that we know how to do. Let's say each pillowcase requires 5 yards of material. And if she's going to sew 6 pillowcases, what would we do? We would multiply 5 times 6 because each one would take 5 yards. So our plan will be to multiply the 6 pillowcases times however many yards each one takes. Okay, so now when I give you the real numbers, we know what our plan is. There we go. The numbers are not so pretty, but we have a plan, right? We're going to multiply 6 times 1 1/3. But we know the rules for multiplying fractions. No whole numbers, no mixed numbers. So my 6 becomes 6 over 1. My 1 1/3, I have to make it improper. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So I have 4 over 3. So 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 3 is 3. 24 over 3 would be 8. It would be 8 yards there. But when you read it first with a whole number, it makes it so much easier. Okay, last one here. A video streaming app has 2 different subscription prices. You can pay a certain amount per month for the year or for the year. So the question says, how much less per month is the annual subscription? So you have to come up with the total price of each one. All right, so just like the other one where we said we find out the total cost per year. So it's $6.88 per month. Okay, $6.88 times 12 months, or it would be $60 a year. We just want to know which one is going to be the least amount of money, okay? Okay, Rams, that is it for this video. Go ahead and put your answer in and make for sure you stay caught up on the homework assignments, okay? Have a good day.